SBC Media.
Welcome to iGaming Daily, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe. Supported by SBC Summit Barcelona, the industry-leading conference bringing you the future of sports betting and iGaming.
SBC Summit Barcelona is the fastest growing sports betting and iGaming event in the industry, happening on the 19th to the 21st of September. Experience the entire global industry coverage under one roof, with 15,000 delegates, over 350 exhibitors, and so much more. Get your tickets now at sbcevents.com.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of iGaming Daily and day 2 of SBC Summit Barcelona, where today I am joined by Menmuir, Martyn Elliott and Danny Lee. How are you all doing today?
Very well, James. Great to be in Barcelona.
I'm happy to be in Barcelona. It's actually sunny today as well. I made in the introduction I said, sunny Barcelona yesterday, and Lou was like, no, you're lying.
Yeah.
It's overcast. I was like, I'm trying to give a good impression here. Martyn, you okay?
Yeah, it's been such a busy week that I'm pretty much exhausted at this stage. So,
well, at least we got you to sit down for a little bit anyway.
Yeah,
to chill
thank
out.
you for that. So.
No, my pleasure. Danny, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Always nice to be in your company, James.
You smooth operator. Perfect. We're on day 2. Barcelona's been a busy week. You've already said, Martyn, you've been non-stop. But before we actually get on what you did yesterday, what have you been doing Monday, Tuesday? Because it's not just been out here in Barcelona enjoying the sun. It's been quite busy.
Yeah, it has. So Monday we came out, did some filming with a client, which was eventful, but I think the end product is going to be really good. It's quite an exciting new project, which we probably can't discuss in detail on air quite yet.
We can't discuss, but you can definitely keep your eye out for it, because visually it looked great, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm excited to be able to put that out to the wider world in over the next couple of months. So that's good. Then Tuesday, I went to the SBC Leaders Summit, which was a sort of a boutique, invitation-only conference where we had 500 largely chief execs from the industry, operators, suppliers, and so on. A couple of nice panels. What's it called? Frank Abiginali, is that
catch me if you can.
Yeah, he did the keynote there. That was nice. There's some panels there. The networking was fantastic. Got to speak to a lot of people who normally really difficult to get hold of. So that was fun. Really well organised. And in a beautiful, stylish venue and so on as well. So first couple of days great, really. So.
Yeah, the W Hotel was, like you said, the perfect place for it, and it has been the best networking experience that I've had since being at SBC. So I'll echo that. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, just the chance to sort of have that chat with the chief executive of one of the big operators while staring out over the beach and enjoying a drink is it's not something that comes around that often. So it was great.
Yeah, and also the food was top notch.
Yeah.
So, Ted, what's your Monday and Tuesday been?
Monday with Martyn at SBC Leaders, very impressed with the agenda.
That was Tuesday.
No. That was Tuesday.
It's been a long week.
So look, Monday I arrived, Tuesday SBC Leaders, then came out, helped the event team with kind of the final preparations, went to networking party, but yesterday was my big day.
Yeah, and we'll get on to Wednesday later.
Okay. But
you're getting ahead of yourself now, Ted.
No, but I really want to talk about Wednesday. So.
Right, well, I'll let Danny get his point off and come straight back to you on Wednesday. You were at the football, were you?
Yes, I was. I was at the SBC Championship, and that is the last we will say of that. No, that was a good day out. Nice to get to Espanyol Stadium. This is my first time at SBC Summit Barcelona, so I had to show off my skills, but unfortunately, I think I gassed out after about 5 minutes under the sun. So,
can you tell us about the controversial draw? Which was the only game SBC's own team didn't lose.
I've not heard of this. What is it?
Well, I won't say too much, but if your goalkeeper is hanging on to the ball for a minute or two, then I would expect maybe 30 seconds injury time, and in that time, we may have scored one of the best goals I think I've ever seen in my life, and that's including real football. You know, when it looks so nice, it pings off the top of the crossbar, hits the goal line, then back to the roof of the net.
Yeah.
Very
Did
nice.
that actually happen, but after the full-time whistle?
Oh, well, yeah, but, you know, we were the SBC team, so I guess there's a bit of bias there, maybe.
Perfect. Ted, we're going to go back to you. You were gagging to talk about Wednesday.
Yeah.
How was yesterday for you?
Well, I was looking after stage one of the show, of the summit, and I've got to shout out to the conference team. It was brilliant. I think it's the strongest kind of lineup we've ever had, and it covered all aspects of gaming. I moderated the panel on lotteries, but we also really got down to the granular detail of what's going down in the industry, what's being disrupted, what's being interrupted, and had some very, very high-level perspective on the issues at hand. And it's good in a summit or in a conference this big that we can get straight to the point.
Yeah.
And, no messing around. Very, very big discussions taking place and generating a lot of content from it. So it's stuff that, we're going to go and report throughout the year on our news channels, as you know. And a lot of distinct opinions on where the industry is going to, and a lot of kind of high leadership thought, because everything's being tested at the moment. And it's not just kind of new market expansions, it's the value chain, factors related to kind of investment, where the innovation's coming, and also how we treat the consumer and our future relationship with all stakeholders. So it was great to see, especially on this leader stage.
Perfect. And you yourself or Ted Clay have probably done some write-ups from some of these panels as well. So we'll put the links in the description below. But I'm glad you actually mentioned the conference team as well, because when we do the daily, I always get internal guests, and they seem to be a lot of the time it's from the editorial team. We try and branch out as much to the departments as we can. We couldn't get anyone from the conference team today, but just a shout out to the hard work they have done, because they pulled off a tremendous job here over the past 2 days.
The speaker lineup and the actual quality and relevance of the agenda is probably the best since I've been working in the industry, not just at our events, at other events as well.
Yeah.
I think you don't want to sit on our own podcast and say how great we are a lot, but really Johnny, Natalie and Jack and so on have done an absolutely tremendous job on that this week.
Yeah, so shout out to all three of you, and Sophia as well. We'll give her a name drop as well. And Danny, we'll come back to you, because like you said, this is your first SBC Summit Barcelona. You've been to a few events. You went to CasinoBeats Malta. How has this differed from the two? Because they are two different events in size alone.
Yeah, exactly. The scale is quite immense when you obviously I've only been in the industry for about a year and a half sort of now, and when you go to Malta, you see those events. I thought they were quite like busy and hectic, and then you come here and it's just like a completely different world almost. Obviously, you've got far more all-encompassing, I guess you would say, with the different topics and whatever. But yeah, yesterday, obviously, we've got a couple of write-ups on CasinoBeats from some panel sessions. Quite an interesting one on Web3 and its impact on like the next generation of casino that went out this morning, and also quite a big day in the slot world. I don't know if you'd be too happy about it, James, as you've given me your opinion on Money Train before, but
I was gonna say you piqued my interest, but it's okay.
But yeah, that launched yesterday, and I've been playing it, and yeah, I must say, but it's the last game in the series, so I think they've ended it with a bang. Something like more than 20 features involved in there. And
more than 20 features?
Yeah.
Well, okay, fair enough. That's new.
Yeah.
maybe there might be a bit too many features, but I'll go to their stand later and check it out. I might actually be excited for a Money Train title for the first time since Money Train 1.
Yeah, I think they've managed to sort of do all of that and not make it too like convoluted and complicated. So it was quite nice to see them sort of launching that here as well. Obviously, a big day for them. Their biggest slot series they've done.
Yeah,
really,
but hands down,
without a doubt.
Yeah, I might come across a little negative on Money Train. I really do like Money Train 1, and I think Relax Gaming do some fantastic titles.
It's like, nothing to do with that, is it?
But I think they're some of the best titles that they do are out in the industry. So great. And Martyn, your day will be a little different, I think, from Ted and Danny's.
Yeah, so yesterday I had meetings pretty much all day, chatting a lot with, in particular, platform providers, some of the bigger people in the industry. And the overwhelming thing they want to talk about is Brazil.
Yeah, it's been the topic of conversation all week.
It's just unbelievable. And obviously I am to an extent, I'm not a salesman, but I am to an extent pitching our media business. And the number one question is, how can you help us reach Brazil? Because everyone is so excited about the potential in that market. That's going to be really interesting to see how Brazil plays out, actually. Will it be the size everyone is predicting, or will it pan out to be a bit like the US, which is obviously major, but hasn't quite hit that level of excitement that people in the industry were predicting 4 or 5 years ago? So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens there. And then met a couple of guys from operators, chat about some future sort of feature articles and so on. So they had some interesting things to say from the other side about the products that suppliers are developing now. It's quite interesting. There's a bit of a dichotomy there. Suppliers saying, we've got AI, we've got stuff we could do in the metaverse and all this. And the operator was chatting to saying, well, yeah, but we don't think our customers are that bothered about that. They just want a smooth experience to have a bet on the race in the afternoon.
They care about the end product more than kind of the process that goes through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that was interesting. And one company I will name, I met, Sports Betting Media, who ran that. They have launched the UK's first dedicated betting radio channel, which is an interesting concept. So they're playing the kind of dad rock and indie music that somebody of my age really appreciates during the day. And they're throwing out there with racing tips, some football tips, a bit of chat. They're going to have some celebrities coming on and doing some, match previews and that kind of thing. So it's a really interesting concept there. I'm excited to see how that plays out, because it sounds like something that is right up my street and that I will be listening to over the next couple of years.
That's really got my interest there. I know you semi-mentioned it to me off air, but this is the most detailed you've gone into it, and that sounds insanely interesting. Is it 24 hours, you say? Or it'll probably be pre-recorded stuff for the music and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's 24 hours a day. So it's online, obviously, to start with, because I guess the cost of having a broadcast radio is really expensive. But these guys are super smart. They're all ex-BBC, ex-Sky, ex-Talksport. So it's not some guy sitting in the shed having a chat and playing some stuff off Spotify. It's it's the real McCoy. So it should be interesting to see how that goes.
Well, any name drops for who these people are, or any names? Can we say names?
Can we say names?
Oh, of course we can. They're hosting a radio.
Yeah.
The names will be broadcasted all over the show.
Yeah, so the main man is called Al Ross. He's a
Just
lovely
man
fellow.
after my own nature there.
Yeah. No, nice guy. He's ex BBC World Service. He's the sort of the brains behind the operation there. Yeah, so I would see if I can remember the web address to give them a bit of a plug, and it's bettingrad.io.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of works.
Yeah. Listeners out there, just type that out on you, be able to check it out. Cool. That was your Wednesdays, and obviously we've got today as well. So for clarity purposes, we're recording this about 1:30 in the afternoon. So you've had your morning, you've still got stuff to do today. Anything that's kind of taking your interest that you want to talk about, Ted?
Well, in about half an hour, I'm going to go and tune into the TalkSport Bet leveraging branded media. And I'm kind of focusing kind of the convergence of betting and media. And I really want to find out what the proposition for TalkSport is coming to the UK market. You guys know how tough it is. Mm-hmm. And how are they going to leverage this audience that they have? And will it translate to bettors? Now, I don't want to sound skeptical about it. I do.
There's something there.
There is something there, but it's tough.
Yeah.
As we all know. And we've seen big mistakes in this field before. And I want to see what they're partnering up with Bet Victor, how they're going to translate kind of a new brand in the UK in the sportsbook scene, which I think is much needed. And for me, I'm covering that panel. I think it's going to be a good one. And it's one that I put a big red circle around. So, yeah, that's my next hour.
Cool. And Danny, anything of interest this morning or this afternoon you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So this morning, the first keynote speech of the day was Matthew Ball, who is author of The Metaverse and How It Will Revolutionize Everything. It's his book, quick plug. And yeah, it was just sort of an amazing hour of just finding out how much sort of money has actually been sort of plunged into like metaverse technology, augmented reality, virtual reality. All of these giant tech companies, Google, Facebook, well, Meta, Apple, they're all sort of almost in a race to try and create like the staple metaverse project. But yeah, it was something we'll have on CasinoBeats at some point soon. Hopefully once this podcast is over, I'll get that sorted.
The article or a metaverse?
Oh, well, an article about the metaverse, so yeah. And later on today, I'll be looking at panel on live casino, obviously something that is rife in the industry, and quite a lot of talks recently about how sort of we're using social elements to sort of make casino a bit of like a broader space, bringing players from video games, which obviously use a lot of social elements, and just try and maybe tap into that a bit as well. So I'm looking forward to getting to that as well.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the next evolution for online casino, not just live casino. You got slots as well, is tapping into its video game counterparts and how they've handled not just multiplayer but just the social side of like gaming. So I think once you master that in iGaming, I think it will take the experience and the entertainment to a next level. But that'll be interesting. I'll keep an eye out for that on CasinoBeats. Martyn, more of the same running around today?
Yeah, this morning I've had been meeting a lot of payments companies. Funnily enough, what came up again? Brazil. They're also one or two looking at that, and I think I've got an exciting afternoon. We can say what we're doing because he's going to be here.
Oh yeah. The big man himself.
The big man himself. One of our customers is bringing their brand ambassador, who is Luis Figo, the former sort of Barcelona and Real Madrid, Inter Milan player. It's quite exciting. I was a big fan of his when he played. So.
Yeah.
Ballon d'Or winner.
Ballon d'Or winner in an era.
Not every
when
day you get to meet one.
No, and I will invite him to play for the SBC five-a-side team next year because we do need him.
I was going to ask him just to sign for United because we need him, even at his age.
Yeah. No, so that'll be interesting. I think we had. I didn't see it myself, but Roberto Carlos was here yesterday as well.
I think he was here for about 15, 30 minutes, and I missed that window because I was so busy. And I saw a picture of, I think it's Juan from Sales.
Yeah.
He got a picture with him. I was so jealous.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gutted. But you know what? I get Luis Figo. I'm sweet. So we'll do that interview. It's happening about an hour and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We were,
I'm quite nervous for that, to be honest. I'm not going to lie.
Are you more nervous talking to him than talking to us?
You are quite intimidating.
Yeah.
Ted's a softie.
Thank you.
And Danny is a youngling. But no, I never really get that nervous with interviews. But then I was walking back from doing an interview in the festival zone, and I was walking towards Digitane's stand, and it was just like Luis Figo's face looking at me like, get ready for this. This is going to happen. So no, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
I think one thing I would say, I've interviewed various footballers, boxers and so on in the past. You imagine that because they're this celebrity, they're really comfortable with doing all the media stuff. Actually, they're as nervous as you are. This is as alien for them as it is for you. So you can just have a chat. Generally speaking, they're nice people, most of them.
I think as soon as I get there, I'll be absolutely fine. It'll be good. I'm excited. No, it's more excitement than nervous, I'll say. Yeah, no, it'll be good. And just before we wrap off the podcast, I want to say that again because I think I might have said something a bit different. Before we wrap up the podcast, we already know this week it got announced that we're moving to Portugal next year. The event won't be held in Barcelona. It's going to be held in Lisbon. Joe Streeter kind of perfectly summarised that it's the next evolution now of SBC Summit events, our flagship event. And Ted, I'm going to come to you first because, not to call you a veteran and make you sound old, but you are a veteran of SBC. You've been here since it was betting on sport. What are your feelings about Lisbon and kind of this next step?
First of all, don't call me a veteran.
Would you prefer experienced? Mature?
Yes. No, I'm very confident in our move. And look, I just write editorials, but when I see this team in action and the way they execute, and this isn't easy. This takes months in planning, a lot of admin, a lot of just, drilling down on stuff and just getting it, seeing the day through. And, I think we got the best team to do it. Lisbon will be a success.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be another kind of epic endeavor of us taking on another venue. And I think it's also good to refresh. There are other cities in Europe that are as beautiful as Barcelona, as exciting. And Lisbon will be our new home for the summit. And I think that in itself, that will be an experience too. And when it comes to these things, you got to go with an open mind. Everyone I've spoken to thinks it's a great idea, but but recognizes that it will also be a great experience. And I think everyone's very welcoming of that. And it's good for the industry too, especially as you were saying, there's a lot of talk of there will be a bigger Brazilian connection there. It's good to go to new markets, good to go to new cities. Gaming has to show its face a lot more. I think we're too kind of standardized in the way we process it. So, this conference is in January, this conference is in September. It's good to mix it up. That's always been my opinion. And it's a challenge. We'll meet it.
I have
Don't say hit the nail on the head.
No, I have very little to add to what Ted said. I think it's really a really exciting move for us. It's been well received. It's come up in every meeting I've had. I've been some questions about it, but everyone's we are coming next year already, which is great. So we know we've got support from the industry. And we're planning to be, I think, getting on for double the size again. And obviously this is twice the size it was last year. And I don't know how the people who work on our events team remain so permanently calm and placid organising it. There are so many moving parts at an event like this. And, you meet Paul and his team and he's just like... Yeah. They're incredible. It's a great job. So, looking forward to that next year.
Yes.
I'd just like to add, this isn't a bye to Barcelona. And I think we recognise as a team because we've been here 3 years and we've made great connections in the city. And, it's just part of a process that we have to do. And, you build an affinity for places, Same with New York, same with Toronto, doing this sort of event because just the manpower it takes, you got to prepare for all this stuff. Taking an event, from a media side to conference production to, your equipment staff. So we do have a connection with Barcelona, right? We're not saying bye to the city. It's just we're now going to Lisbon and creating another journey. So,
Perfectly put. Danny, I'm going to ask you something a little different. It's a bit on Lisbon, but again, you've been in the industry now for about a year and a half. You've experienced Malta, you've experienced Barcelona. What do you hope to experience in Lisbon now, next year?
Well, I think it's undoubtedly going to be a bigger event, and as previous years have gone, it's going to be a better event because the events have been growing exponentially in the past few years. We've hit around 15,000 delegates this year, and at the new location, we're looking to get over 25,000 delegates. So it's just about accommodating everyone. And like Ted was saying, variety is the spice of life. So I think I've heard a lot of people, they're looking forward to a new city and, a new success for SBC, I think.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about the move to Lisbon from the people I've spoken to around the conference room floor. So I'm looking forward to it. I said it in yesterday's podcast. I'm looking forward to learning European Portuguese and hopefully doing an iGaming daily in Portuguese out there. So it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. But we're going to wrap it up. Ted, Martyn, Danny, thank you for joining us today. To the listeners out there, thank you for tuning in for the second day of SBC Summit Barcelona. Shall we go and get a drink?
Sounds good, you.
Obrigado.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of iGaming Daily, brought to you in conjunction with SBC Summit Barcelona, being held at the Fira Barcelona Montjuic on the 19th to the 21st of September. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.